Let's begin history today with the Americans' Creed. Class, stand. See if we can speed it up a little bit today. Ready? Begin.
Americans' Creed.
I believe in the United States of America as a government of the people, by the people, for the people, whose just powers are derived from the consent of the governed. A democracy and a republic, a sovereign nation of many sovereign states, a perfect union, one and inseparable, established upon those principles of freedom, equality, justice, and humanity for which American patriots sacrifice their lives and fortunes. I therefore believe it is my duty to my country to love it, to support its Constitution, to obey its laws, to respect its flag, and to defend it against all enemies. The American Creed. Have a seat and close your books. All right. We have our map, and you've been doing well on the map, but let's go over some different facts about the map. I'm going to point to a continent or a body of water, and I want you to tell me what I'm pointing to and tell me one fact about it. Jay, I'm going to start with you. Which continent?
Asia.
One fact.
The largest continent in the world.
Hallelujah. Way to go. I liked how loudly you answered. What about this one, Nathan?
Africa.
And one fact.
Second largest continent.
Excellent. Say it louder, though, please.
The second largest continent. The second largest continent.
The second largest continent. What about this, Peniel? What continent?
Australia.
And it is the?
Smallest continent.
And can you tell me one interesting thing? Because it's so small, it is only what? One?
Country.
There you go. Josiah, what body of water?
Pacific Ocean. It's the largest ocean in the whole wide world.
Very good. Students watching, what ocean is this? And what is one fact about it? Paige.
Indian Ocean, and it's the warmest ocean.
Excellent answer. What ocean is this? Andres?
The Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and it's the most heavily traveled ocean.
Good. Now let's look at this for a second. Because it's in the middle, it separates which two continents from the rest of the world? Parker?
North America and South America.
Very good. Thank you for answering loudly. And our last ocean up at the top, Kenton?
The Arctic Ocean.
Two facts about it. It is
It is the smallest ocean and the coldest ocean.
Wonderful job. Students watching, is it getting easy for you? I hope that it is. Let's look over at our more recent map that we've started. You're going to just repeat after me. Pacific Ocean.
Pacific Ocean.
Atlantic Ocean.
Atlantic Ocean.
Pacific Ocean.
Pacific Ocean.
Atlantic Ocean.
Atlantic Ocean.
Hudson Bay.
Hudson Bay.
Hudson Bay.
Hudson Bay.
Gulf of Mexico.
Gulf of Mexico.
Gulf of Mexico.
Gulf of Mexico.
Caribbean Sea.
Caribbean Sea.
Caribbean Sea.
Caribbean Sea.
Mississippi River.
Mississippi River.
Missouri River.
Missouri River.
Ohio River.
Ohio River.
Ohio River.
Ohio River.
Who can guess where the Ohio River runs through? Students watching? Kenton?
Ohio.
Ohio. Very good. So if you go down the Ohio River, you can say, oh, hi, to all the people who live there. Mississippi River
Mississippi River.
runs through what state? What'd you think, Kalani?
Mississippi.
Oh, very good. And the Missouri River, Layla, runs through what state?
Missouri.
Oh, very good. See, look at these students. So smart already without even having to be told. Let's see how many people you remember, okay? Some of these names are hard to pronounce, but you've been doing good. Students watching, here we go. Which Portuguese captain reached India by sailing down and around Africa and up to India? Parker?
Vasco da Gama.
Amazing. Way to go. Which explorer found and claimed the Pacific Ocean? He stuck his toe in the Pacific. Josiah?
Balboa.
Balboa is correct. Which explorer found the mainland of the United States? It was actually Florida. Kenton?
Juan Ponce de Leon.
Say it again.
Juan Ponce de Leon.
Very good. Who were the Indians in Mexico? Students watching. Layla.
Aztecs.
Excellent answer. Who was the leader of the Aztecs? Nathan?
Montezuma.
Montezuma is correct. Who conquered the Aztecs in Mexico? And he went off? Well, who was it, Jay?
Hernando Cortez.
There you go. Now, who is the man? He was told he was looking for the 7 cities of Cibola. And he was walking around and up. He didn't find the 7 cities. He found a big hole in the ground known as the Grand Canyon. Who was that man? Kalani? It rhymes with Colorado. Layla?
Javier.
Not Cartier. Kenton?
Hernando de Coronado.
Coronado is what I'm looking for. And then one other man. He found the Mississippi River. He was looking for gold and wonderful riches. And Riley, who was he?
Cartier.
Not Cartier. Sounds like something Miss Anspel likes to drink that has caffeine in it besides coffee. Lois, do you know?
Cartier.
No. Students watching, do you know? Across the Mississippi River, it was Hernando de Soto. Say that with me. Hernando de Soto. All right, I'm looking for sharp behavior. Here we go. We have Spain in the New World, and they're discovering all these things, and they're getting rich. And France is coming over to the New World, and they're finding new things, and they're getting rich. Well, England, they were coming over a little bit, but they were not doing so well. So their queen was Queen Elizabeth I, and she was a smart queen, but probably not the best example to follow, and I'll show you why. Queen Elizabeth I said, we want to get rich, just like the Spanish. They're going to the New World, and they're getting all this gold and beautiful things, and they're coming back. So we want to get all these things, but we don't want to travel all the way over to the New World. So this is what she did. She sent out men. They called them sea dogs. And she said, go up to the Spanish ships, and I want you to attack them. Take all the riches off the ships, and then bring it back to us. What do we call people who attack ships and take the riches from them, Riley?
Like criminals?
Yes, Andres?
Pirates.
Pirates. So here she is, the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth I, the first one of Elizabeth's. And she says, I want you to go, and I want you to attack their ships, take all their nice stuff, and bring it back to England. One man became very good at this. His name was Sir Francis Drake. Sir Francis Drake, he was evil. Maybe he had a patch, maybe not. Maybe he had long hair, maybe not. But he would go up to these ships, and he would attack these ships, and he would take all the goods, and you know what else he would do? He would sink the ships. And then he went back to Queen Elizabeth and said, oh, Queen, I found all these beautiful things for you. And she said, oh, bravo, good job. And she would send him out again. And he became so fierce that the people in Spain had a nickname for him. They called him Drake the Dragon. And Drake the Dragon became known as a fierce pirate. And these pirates were not called pirates at this time. They were called sea dogs. So the Spanish poor people, they would be coming with all their nice things, and then they would see the sea dogs coming, and they would try to get back to Spain very quickly. So England was getting very rich, but it was not through good means. Now we have another country, which is Spain, who is the one getting robbed by all these English people. But Spain was smart. They came over to the New World. They drove across the sea in their ships. They came across, and they settled a colony known as St. Augustine. Now that means it's called a settlement. That means they're settled there and they live there permanently. So they came over to the New World and they settled, and it was known as St. Augustine. St. Augustine is the first permanent settlement. It's the oldest settlement that we had in America. One other man we want to know is Samuel de Champlain. Say that with me. Samuel de Champlain. He was from France. He was not from Spain. He was not from England. He was from France. He came over to the New World, but he was up north in Canada. Now, we talked about Leif Erikson and how he came to Canada and he called it Vinland. Well, Samuel de Champlain came over to Canada, and he had never been there before, and he called it something. He was real smart because he was from France, and he claimed it for France. He called Canada New France. So he came over to the New World. He settled in Canada. He called it New France, and he became very well known in Canada for settling things. One of the first settlements in Canada was Quebec. So we have St. Augustine, which was one of the first settlements in the United States, and Quebec was the first settlement in Canada. Open your books to page 21 and let's read about these fierce sea dogs. If my readers will begin making their way up here. Page 21, it says, England, Drake the Dragon. I'm going to begin reading. Spain had become very wealthy from the explorations of the New World. Her wealth made her a world power. Soon other countries noticed Spain's wealth and power. Why should Spain have all the New World's riches? They asked themselves. Minhai, come continue reading, please.
Pirates began to sail only Spanish ships and had sailed before. At that time, Queen Elizabeth I ruled England. She encouraged English sea captains to surprise attack on Spanish boats. These English sea captains who raided Spanish boats were called sea dogs.
Thank you. Keep reading.
The most famous sea dogs was Sir Francis Drake. The Queen sent Drake to capture the goods on the Spanish ships. After he had taken the goods on the board his ships, he often sank the Spanish ships. Then Drake would bring back the Spanish gold, silver, and other treasures to the English queen.
Thank you, Josiah.
To the Spanish, Drake became the most feared pirate of the time. He was so successful in raiding Spanish ships that the Spanish nicknamed him Drake the Dragon. Slowly but surely, Spain lost its great wealth and power. Sir Francis Drake helped England to become more powerful, both on the sea and the New World.
Now, just I have a question for you. He was helping England become powerful, but was it really a good means to do it?
No.
No, it wasn't. Continue reading for us. Andres, page 22.
France, the first French settlement in the New World. The 16th century had passed. The 17th had begun. Although Drake the Dragon had weakened Spain's power, Spain was the only country that had a settlement in America. That first permanent European settlement in North America was St. Augustine, Florida.
Thank you, Lois.
The French have discovered that the beautiful animal furs of North America could be sold for high prices in France. Wealthy Frenchmen were willing to pay high prices for beaver hats. Others enjoyed coats made from animal skins. Many Indians were eating from animal skins. Many Indians were eager to trade their furs with the Frenchmen, who treated them as friends.
Thank you. Continue, Kenton.
In 1603, Samuel D. Champlain arrived in Canada. At that time in history, the French called Canada New France. Champlain and his men explored and traded with the Indians. The French then sailed home with a valuable cargo of furs. The King of France became interested in starting a settlement in North America. He knew that trading furs with the Indians would be a valuable business. He decided that Frenchmen must be sent to live in the New World. In 1608, Champlain returned to New France, Canada. This time, he also explored New England's coastline, making good maps along the way. He discovered beautiful Lake Champlain in what are now the states of New York and Vermont. Then he returned to New France, where he helped to build Quebec, the first successful French settlement in the New World.
Thank you, Kenton. So what is the first permanent settlement in the United States, Riley?
New France.
No, not quite. Layla, help her out.
Quebec.
That was up in Canada.
Augustine.
St. Augustine is the first permanent settlement in North America, what is now we know as the United States. The first one in what is now known as Canada was Quebec. Continue reading for me, Maddie. Last paragraph.
3 powerful countries now claim land in the New World: England, Spain, and France. Soon you will see how England gained more and more land that is now the United States of America, and you will learn about a sea battle that made England one of the most powerful countries in the world. Because the English people at that time that America was settled read and preached the Bible, our country was to become a land of freedom and liberty.
Thank you very much. So, from the reading, you can close your books. Who can tell me the 3 powerful countries that we now have in the New World? Emily.
France, Spain, and England.
Excellent answer. What do we call the men who were known as pirates? Students watching? Riley?
Sea dogs.
Sea dogs. Who was the feared sea dog of all of them? Kalani?
Sir Francis Drake.
And what was Sir Francis Drake's nickname, Kenton?
Drake the Dragon.
Let's look over here at a map, and I would like to show you these first 2 settlements that we're talking about. St. Augustine, who can tell me what state this looks like it might be in? It's very close to 2 states. What 2 states do you think, Emily?
Florida or Alabama?
And Georgia. It's right there, close to both of them, on the water. And then we come all the way up here to Canada, and this is Quebec. So do you see how far apart they are from each other? No wonder they didn't realize what was going on down here, what was going up here. 2 different things. So Quebec is up in Canada, first one in Canada. St. Augustine is the first one in North America, the first permanent settlement in North America. Which one is the first permanent settlement in North America? Nathan.
St. Augustine.
Which is the first permanent settlement in what is now known as Canada? Kush?
Quebec.
Quebec is correct. Couple more questions. Let's see how much you're paying attention. Let's go back to the Grand Canyon. Who discovered the Grand Canyon? Kalani? Coronado. Let's say that together. Coronado. Say it again.
Coronado.
Who found the Mississippi River and they buried him underneath the Mississippi River? Parker.
De Soto.
De Soto. So Soto is on the Mississippi. So picture him drinking his Soto on the Mississippi River. And Coronado found the Grand Canyon. Tonight for homework, students watching, you are going to do Chapter Checkup 2 on page 23. You're doing number 6 through 19. You are also going to do your skill sheet, which is skill sheet 3 in your skill sheet book. And it says to write the continent name, and then you're going to match it with the fact. So the first continent, you write the name beside it, and then you look across and you see what fact matches with that continent. There might be more than one fact per continent. That's what you're going to do tonight for homework.